Hello, good day, good day, good day. This is Jonrel
And Joni.
once again from JIP Migrate, welcoming you to the JIP podcast. And we are right now here at around a park or a forest park. Actually, it's more of a forest made into some parts made into a park. It's a beautiful day today, not too cold. Probably it's I would say just from my skin, 12 degrees. What do you think?
Let me check. It's colder.
It's colder. What is it?
7.
Oh, okay, 7. But it does have the sunlight, so that's why.
Yeah.
Beautiful, beautiful day just for staying out. And actually, there are families around us enjoying their time as well because today is a non-working day. And so, yeah, families are coming out. And that's the thing in Europe, actually. When it's like weekends or anything like that, holidays, families really do go out and just have their time outside. They not like in our culture in Philippines. Most of them would use the holidays for, I don't know, more Facebook and TikTok inside their homes and just staying in their rooms. But anyway, it's a cultural difference. So today we're going to be tackling more of the questions, frequently asked questions that we have started the other day, and these are the continuation. Okay, so we will tackle probably 5 questions from it again, and we find it very interesting and very helpful. You know what, guys, to all the listeners, just a little bit of our story. Actually, when we started moving to another country from Philippines, the time when we were staying in Philippines, we were actually quite, I would say, satisfied in our lives already. We're quite happy, and with the right kind of sustenance. And but there's just something lacking. There's something better out there, and that's why we decided to move to another country, which is here in Europe. And yeah, we didn't regret it. It's much better in all sorts of aspects, especially security, as I always say. How about you? What would you like about Europe that you didn't have in back then in the Philippines?
I guess it's the healthcare.
Healthcare, yeah, because especially you coming from the healthcare sector before.
Yes, I
Yes.
know.
Yeah, she would know. Joni would know. You know what, guys? We used to live on the beach, like right on the beach. The beach is our house.
Few steps away.
Just few steps, probably like 10 meters, and it's already water. That's the that's where we lived, and everything was good at that time. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fish every day,
Fish every day. Everything's peaceful.
peaceful, actually cheaper, and we like it that way. We're cheapskates. But I don't know, life sometimes makes you want to go to another place, which we did. We did not regret it, definitely, and we found more things here. We lost the fish though.
Yes.
Lost the seafood. They don't have good seafood here at all, but everything else is great. The groceries and healthcare, yeah, and the safety and everything. Okay, so that's our story. Hopefully you guys can relate to that. If you are looking into moving somewhere else, there are always options, and you don't have to be stuck there, especially if you can, if it's like if you have the means to actually move, which we did last time. We had the means, so we were ready. So if you are ready and you think, I need a new environment, then give migration a shot, and JIP Migrate can help you with that. We mostly help with people who want to retire, who want to set up a business, who want to invest. These are the kinds of people we really help with, and we specialize with, because our team are more than capable to accommodate all of your needs in different kinds of aspects, I guess. Investment, real estate. There are clients who want tax residency, who want to figure out the taxes, how good should their taxes be, what kind of business they want to set up, where should they retire. Like the other podcast, we still couldn't get over it, the centenarians. Remember? We still talk about we still talk about it. So people want to retire in those kind of countries like Italy, Greece. They just want a simple life, want to buy a piece of land and just retire there and live up to 100 years old like the centenarians. If you don't know what we were talking about, you can listen to our other podcast where we talk about the blue zones of the earth. There you go. All right, so yeah, I think that's it. We will now show you a video from our sponsor.
Are you a remote worker and bored just working all day at home? Why not take your laptop work and move to a more inspiring environment like Europe? Yes, remote work doesn't have to be very boring. If you can do it while living in picturesque countries in Europe, JIP Migrate are awesome experts in helping people like you. It's very simple. We handle all the complicated processes for your EU residency, and you can continue your remote work while enjoying life in Europe. So, want to migrate to Europe? Contact JIP Migrate. We enable possibilities for those who are ready to move.
There you go, straight from the guy. Thank you so much, Anjay, and the rest of the JIP Migrate team. They really prepare a lot of things for us, in different kinds of departments. And as Anjay had said, we can help digital nomads if you are, all right, a digital nomad and you have remote work. Why stay in your country where you don't like it? If you don't like it, why stay there? Right? You can travel and stay in Europe. Through our help, we can make that possible, right? Digital nomads or people who have pensions, who have rental properties, and they acquire income from that. Any passive income from stocks or anything. We have clients like that. We can definitely help you. We can give you options according to your portfolio, and make you stay here in the picturesque environment. That's what Anjay would always say. Picturesque. Wow. Picturesque. I wouldn't know. I wouldn't see. But anyway, so that was the video from our sponsor, JIP Migrate. And if you think you want to move, that's what we can help you with. All right, so right into the questions now, Joni.
Okay. What is the cost of living like in different European countries?
All right, so again, a very broad question, which has many answers, because there are, we can probably say for the 27 countries, it's a very, very wide spectrum of costs. We used to live in country, we lived all around, okay? And we lived in countries that are really expensive.
Yes.
And we lived in countries that are cheaper. All right, so we like the cheaper countries. Definitely. But generally for the cheaper countries, and this is just a general answer, again, I can't be too specific, the video is just going to be too long. But basically, you can have countries that have groceries. We used to have like I'm trying to remember. Okay, so there was this country in Central Europe, all right, and some countries there would offer groceries for probably 3 euros a day. You can have that cost of living. 3 euros of grocery a day would be good. And back then, in more of the Western countries that we live in, we would have to spend 10 euros or 15 euros, up to 15 euros per day, something like this. So that's food. So you can say between countries, you can have countries that you can eat for 3 euros a day. That should be enough for groceries. Other countries would require you to have at least 15 euros a day. So it's a wide spectrum, all right? That's just for groceries. And for rent, we can probably say most of Europe have a more flattened kind of rate for the accommodation. I would say lowest that we have found would be 250 euros, around this amount, for a for your solitary for what do you call that, studio apartment. All right, if you're just renting a room, those are just mostly for workers, it would be a lot less than that. Probably 100 euros would be good, 120, 130. But if you're renting your own apartment studio, for example, you'd expect from 250. Average would be 300. Yeah. Also, in the more expensive countries, let me just give you a country like Norway. Oh my gosh, that would cost you around 700 euros per month for a studio. Yeah, 700, 800, depends. Okay, but it's because you earn a lot more there in Norway if you are working there. So that's how it is with the rents. And in Switzerland, that's even just a little bit higher, probably 650 to 700. That's what we experienced. And that's only ideal if you earn in Switzerland or you're that rich. Right? So what else? What else are the cost of living that we should be mentioning here?
How about transportation?
Transportation. Okay, you know what? We're not really good at that because our transportation is almost free all the time. It's not even €1 most of the time, right?
Yes.
It's like 20 cents, 30 cents because I don't know if people know, but I'm blind, completely blind, and the European Union somehow honors our blindness, our disability, with free transportation, almost free transportation. Even Joni is free, right?
Yes.
Yeah, even Joni is free, and we have other benefits. But basically, transportation we can expect all the time that it's gonna be almost free. We're we're paying pennies only if we ever pay, but lots of like buses we don't even have to pay buses, right?
Yes.
But for trains we do. It's like 20 cents euro. So yeah, good life, good life. So but in normal cases, I'm not sure what can I say about the transportation. How much is it in normal cases?
It depends on the country.
Depends on the country as well. Last time I do remember in Deutsche Bahn, how much was that? It's always like 20, 30 euros. It's expensive there. It's crazy. In Deutschland, it's in Germany. It's crazy. But of course, it's crazy in our perspective because we're cheapskates. But if you earn your money from Germany or from Austria, it would not be a problem.
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, those are the kind of things we can talk about. We can say about the cost of living. Again, it's very dependent. You can get into more details with your own research, but generally, that's what you can take away from us. All right, from our experience. Oh, I just remembered. I wanted to mention Greece. apparently, it's very expensive there, huh?
Yes.
I don't know why, guys, but Greece, in our opinion, it isn't as beautiful as the other countries. Like even Italy, comparing to Italy, Austria, Hungary, Czech Republic, Slovakia, Slovenia, Croatia, we have been to all of these countries, stayed there for quite some while doing business. But in Greece, it's quite imbalanced. They earn salaries of 500, 600, 700 euro, but they would pay lots of money for food. Much
For food and also for transportation.
for transportation. I don't know why is it like that. It's quite imbalanced for European Union standards. Yeah, that's just honest opinion from us. We haven't seen any other country like that because in Norway you would understand.
Because they have very high salary there.
Very high salary in Switzerland. They high salary, lots of businesses there.
Yes.
So they would, of course, have higher rents and everything. Denmark, right? So, but in Greece, I don't know. I really don't understand why it's expensive there. But just giving you our honest opinion. So that's cost of living. Let's move on to another one.
Next is, how do I find a job in Europe as an expat?
All right. So finding jobs in Europe really isn't hard at all. Once you're inside, and once you are a resident, a legal resident, jobs would find you because jobs are just everywhere,
Yeah.
right? So this another topic that we should be mentioning as well. The reason why we really don't encourage people to just come here, migrate through job contracts or work visas, depending on jobs, is because most employers would not really give away the jobs just like that, for other, like for foreigners. They would prefer definitely locals first,
Yes.
right? So in that logic, you would always, if you're an expat waiting for a job outside European Union, you would just get the leftovers. You don't really get the best jobs. Like for example, if you're an engineer and you come to JIP Migrate saying, hey, can you do you have jobs available there? Well, the usual answer we give is yes, we do have jobs, a lot of them. We're looking for a lot of people to fill in these job positions, but if you're not a resident of Europe, that will be quite difficult. You have you have much less chance of getting accepted than a local, or a resident, because you're outside the European Union, and the employer would have to spend a lot of money just getting you with the work permits, wait a long time just to get you, when they can always do it inside, right?
Yes.
Much easier, much less expensive, quicker.
Mm-hmm.
So to people who expect work from the European Union and waiting outside the country, the European Union, I can honestly tell you, you have a lot less chance of getting accepted, right?
Yeah.
Which is why JIP Migrate promotes independent migration. That means you migrate and become resident yourself. There are lots of ways for that, and find work inside. Find contracts inside, or business inside. That's the best way, in our perspective. That's the best way to do it, because I can tell you again, cons. Yeah, there are lots of people who come talk to us. They've worked for years in factories, etc. Right? Factories. What else? What other kinds of industries? Factories. Those kind of jobs. Factory labor jobs, construction. They would work for years, stayed in a country for years, and never get their residency status. In the end, what happens to them?
They
Go back home, right?
Yes.
So is it really worth it? Not really, because when you get into those kind of deals and arrangements, you work for 12 hours most of the time. 12 hours, you don't really have a life. You get stuck in one place because you have to work 12 hours. You can't really go outside, right? Can't really go to the park, go to, hardly can do their groceries, right?
Yeah.
So it's not real migration. That's not what we promote here. We want our clients to really migrate, wherein they can move and find their own life in the country they want to. Find a really good job, the best for them according to their qualifications and or business, etc. And just find their own life, without these tie-ups. So this is why we encourage the proper kind of migration instead of just relying on a job contract. We definitely discourage, too much reliance on a job contract. So that's what we're saying here in JIP Migrate. If you really want to migrate, think about it. Would you want to migrate and just work for 12 hours for hardly any pay? Then after 3 years, you don't get a residency. You didn't get to enjoy the country. You didn't get to bring your family. And after your job, after your contract, you go home. Nothing changed, right?
Yes.
Not the real migration we offer, right? So if you want the real migration, then we have much more options than that. All right. So, but anyway, answering the question, you can have lots of jobs inside the European Union, especially if you are a resident. That's what we can help you with. Not only jobs, contracts. If you're an independent contractor, freelancer, you can't believe how much opportunities you can have here, comparing to like waiting for a job contract to come to your country. So anyway, yeah, kids are playing outside there, so they're having the time of their lives. So anyway, let's have the next question.
What are the education options for my children in Europe?
All right, very good. This is also what we arrange for people. Most European countries, I would say all, especially for kids, they would have free education, right?
Yes.
And we help them arrange for these schools, and the registrations, and the registrations for the municipalities, all of these things. JIP Migrate helps you. If you take one of our programs, we definitely would take into consideration your kids that you're bringing with, and where they would continue their schools, what are the best options, these kind of things. So in the European system, all right, most of the European countries, there are always local schools. What does that mean? Wherever you live, there's most probably a school very near your place, right?
Yes.
An elementary school, preschool, or a high school, almost all the time. All right. So yeah, that's what we help people, our clients, with as well. So it's actually not a problem with that system. You can almost guarantee where you live, you would always find a local school around that you don't even have to take the bus with. You can just walk, right? Walking
Yes.
distance.
Yes.
So yeah, it's not a problem. Schools are always around. So that's the answer for that question. What's next?
Next is, how do I transport my belongings to Europe?
Oh my gosh. This one, I first of all, I would not encourage, to for you to bring too many things when you migrate. Okay. We usually would recommend for you to sell all of your things if you can, and take as less things as you can, because otherwise might get lost. There are lots of times when we had clients that flew in an airline and then their baggage went somewhere else. Right? So it's very difficult. But for clients who are, like, for example, remember, I don't want to say the name, from the UK, right? They move to France. They can move their things quite easily because there's truck for between UK and France, right?
Yes.
So it was not a problem. But for countries like very far away, Asian countries especially, don't take your chances to bring your stuff in the airline and hope that it will come. It's very dangerous. We don't recommend it. But if you really have to, then take the airline baggage, check-in baggage.
Yeah.
That's the best, I guess. There are also courier service, like FedEx. What else? DHL.
DHL.
But that's gonna be expensive.
Yes, of course.
Those options are gonna be expensive, so it's really not recommended in our perspective. It's possible, but not really recommended because it's not safe. You'll get a lot of headaches most of the time.
There are cases that the customs might not be able to pass those items.
Yeah,
to come
those
in the
items
country.
will not go through, the
And also
customs.
sometimes the courier might break and
Yeah,
might break the items.
break the items as well.
So
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
not really worth it bringing your whole house to another country.
to another country. You already spent a lot of money
Yeah.
moving those things, and they break it. I don't think that's a good deal, but it's up to you guys. But we don't recommend it. Yeah, definitely not recommended to move all your things. If you want, you can buy your things here, sell your things there, sell everything. Or for example, some of our clients would leave their house and rent it to someone with the things inside, so they can have, they can charge larger rent. And then when they move to, for example, Italy, they'd buy new things. Yeah, so that's more recommended. I would recommend that more. All right, so let's go to the next question.
Next question.
The kids are really enjoying their time there. Yeah.
What cultural differences should I be aware of when moving to Europe?
Aha, good question. All right, there are lots to say here, but okay, this is one that we can relate with. When we moved here, everything was done faster with regards to work, right? What would you say? Like when they work, right? Europeans, when you go
They're
to
very decisive.
they're disciplined, they're fast, they don't want beating around the bush,
Yes.
which frankly, coming from the Philippines, most Filipinos are like that. I'm so sorry, guys, but us Filipinos, we're a bit slower. I can tell you, we're a bit slower with work. Slower, and it takes us a lot longer to do one thing. And oh my gosh, what else can I say? I don't want to say too many bad things, but what I can say is I prefer the work of Europeans better. When you go to like airports, they're very fast. They're very fast. You're in and out, right? In like minutes.
Yes.
In the airport in the Philippines, it takes you like 3 hours, 2 hours. We just recently had an experience there because we came from Philippines the last month, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we were traveling around Asia, and we dropped by Philippines. I can't believe how slow it was in the airport and lots of problems, unnecessary problems as well.
Yes.
But here, the cultural difference is they're very fast, they're decisive, they know what to do. So you have to be quite fast, when you go through, like, for example, airports or restaurants or malls. You can't be too slow.
Yes.
I can't say, I try to be kinder, but that's one cultural difference we have to be aware of. All right, guys. So I hope that was constructive enough. I don't want to say too many bad things, but yeah, it's much different here, much more professional, I guess. Yeah, and what else? Yeah, talking about professionalism, they really take it to another level.
Mm-hmm.
All right. For example, us in Philippines, we're used to, when at work, we still bring our emotions.
Mm-hmm.
We get offended. We offend people. Things like this.
Yes.
It's not present at all here in Europe. They take things professionally. They would say things to you honestly, and if it hurts your emotions, then tough. Tough.
Yes.
It's nothing to them. It's just honesty. So I think we have to adapt that a bit more, especially to our culture. We need to be less offended. We need to take things honestly and professionally. Yeah, for example, they say something to you in a critical manner. You can use that to be better.
Mm-hmm.
Don't take it too personally. Don't take it too hard and get hurt. They don't like it here in Europe, right? If
Yes.
they see you get hurt and offended by that, they get weirded out. They would think, why would she why would he or she be hurt, right? It's the truth anyway. It's honesty.
Yes.
So I think that's one cultural difference that you should be learning as well. We learned that, right?
Mm-hmm.
We learned that, and they're I can say they're a lot more decent here. They're not very affectionate, what do you call that? They're not very sweet to, to strangers.
Mm-hmm.
But we have to take things in a more honest way. If it's honest and it's truth, even though it hurts us, you
It
have to
also
take it.
helps you when they say the truth.
Yes, we should learn that a lot more, don't you think?
Yes.
Right? Yeah. So yeah, that's one cultural difference. I'm not sure about, of course, in other countries they don't really have a problem with that. Like in USA, our clients from USA, they don't have a problem with that. Honesty is honesty.
Yes.
Yeah, if you shouldn't be hurt. So yeah, Filipinos, our country, we should learn this a bit more. Stop being offended, stop offending people as well. Keep it professional, focus. Yeah, I think that's what I can leave that with. All right, do we have the last question? Is it the last question?
Question.
Yes.
What are the legal requirements for residency in Europe?
All right. So again, a very broad question, which is best answered in a consultation call because each situation would have different answers. Yes. So there are lots of legal basis for residency. Again, we have been helping our clients with tax residency with our program in Switzerland, where they can just pay bulk tax and then stay there for the year, and they just keep paying that until forever, and they can stay for forever. Right? So that's Switzerland. And we also have golden visas where you invest in a property or donations or mutual bonds or funds of the country. Each country would have different requirements, okay? But basically the same idea, investment. That's golden visa. Okay, we also have basis for what do you call it? Ancestry, right? We had this client, remember, from US, from
Yes.
Florida, and her ancestors were real Italians, from Italy, and we're helping them get their passports, Italian passports, through ancestry. Okay, because apparently her friends got theirs as well through the same program. So yeah, that's what we can help with. And also okay, is that a police or the ambulance?
Ambulance.
Okay, yeah. Anyway, so also I remember this client from North Africa. Remember, North Africa want to stay in Southern Europe, and we help them with, because they have some countries in South Europe would have different programs for countries that used to be colonies, of their country. Yes. So a lot of European countries have had colonies before, hundreds of years ago, and some of them would be honored to have a citizenship according to some conditions. So we're helping those clients as well. All right. So those are some of the legal basis. Well, of course, setting up a business, becoming a student, working in a country. Those are all legal bases for residency. So this is best answered according to your situation in a consultation call. So it's best really to consult, because there's just lots of things to think about when you want to have a legal residency. So you really have to, you can't just take a general answer, right?
Yes.
So yeah, those are the things that we can tell you about. So hopefully those questions and the answers were very helpful to you guys. And yeah, right now we're just enjoying the park here. I think later on we'll be walking. By the way, guys, we walk 7 kilometers, 10 kilometers every day. So try to beat that, guys. So it's gonna be more in summer, right? In
Yes.
summer we can really walk 10 kilometers.
Yes.
Right now it's getting better. The sun is always out now. I love it, right? It's out early, and it sets quite late in the evening as well. It's getting to that, and it's getting less cold. All right, so if you have questions that you think we can answer more specifically, guys, if anyone is listening, you can send in your questions, just like our other clients or people who just follow our page. You can always send us your questions. We can try to specifically answer it and help you get a more educated decision to migrate to Europe. All right, there are lots of options for you to migrate to Europe, and JIP Migrate can help you get the best educated decision. That's what we want, and that's what we use this platform for, to be educational and sharing probably latest news as well. All right, so yeah, anything to add before we go?
I think that's all.
I think that's all. All right, want to migrate to Europe?
Contact JIP Migrate.
We enable possibilities for those who are ready to move. See you here in Europe, guys.
Bye.